It's a very early morning, and it's been a while since I've recorded at such a time as this. I guess because it's just been a while since I've needed to. I wasn't going to record this because I'm ashamed of these times. I'm ashamed that I'm like this. And from my experience with the rape, what I know of shame is that it's a killer. It's silent and it's deadly. And it's also a lie. So I'm trying to break that lie. It's around 2 in the morning, and there's been probably one of the biggest changes of my whole life since I had children. It's a pretty big change. And it's unsettled me in such a way that I'm struggling with wanting to be on this earth. I think the term they use nowadays is suicidal ideations. I don't know if that's the term I would use right now. But I no longer like myself enough or can see my worth enough that I want to be alive, that I want to be here. And I'm ashamed that I'm about to turn 53 and I'm still struggling with this. I'm ashamed that people don't like me. I'm ashamed that I don't always behave the way I want. I'm ashamed that I can't sleep at 2 in the morning. And the best I can do is take my altar apart and put it back together in a different way that hopefully is more aligned with the actual journey I'm on as opposed to the one I wish I was on. And that I light a candle to try to bring some light into the darkness. I'm ashamed that so many things trigger me in life. I was thinking, it was just yesterday, and I was thinking I don't really need any drama in my life because life is so dramatic for me. And can't say what anyone else's experience is, but it seems like, right? Like, seems like most people can do life better than me, don't have such extreme experiences. Of course, my extremes always tend to be in the depressive direction. I sort of miss out on the highs. And I don't remember where I heard this, but I've heard it a couple of times. I think it's on a podcast that has to do with fasting. Anyway, I could be getting that all wrong, but the number has stuck with me. But I guess more women, I think they meant females, but I think they may have said women, in their lives between the ages of 45 and 55. Oh yeah, it was because they were I think the person was finding some kind of correlation with menopause. But I wondered if it's more than that. I've already gone through menopause. Um, I wonder if it's also just the huge life change of when you've been a mother, and oftentimes that's like a real big, it's not just that your kids have moved out, but there can be huge shifts at that time also in when you've dedicated your life to something, you're no longer that. And if maybe that hasn't gone well, the outcome wasn't what you wanted, what have you been doing? That's kind of, what did I do it all for? If I put all those years into that and it didn't go the way I want or doesn't seem to go well, what have I been doing, and what do I have left? And I think that's where the why bother, maybe I'm just a bother. I hate being in this place. I'm ashamed that I'm ever in this place or that I'm still in this place. I'm not always here, but that I still dip in and out of it. It's very frustrating, shameful. I was sitting here just talking, just talking to my altar, talking to the people in my life that are things I want to say, and I'm either not in a place to say them to the person or the person doesn't want to hear them. So I'm just saying them here. And that was when sort of I had this moment where my heart just hurt for all the people that might be in this place. I don't assume I'm the only one. And that was when I thought, I always told myself if there was anything I could do to lessen the burden of others that may have similar experiences, maybe not on the outside, but on the inside, that I would try, lucidess, I would try to shine the light, to bring more clarity, more brightness to the situation. And I don't say that as like, oh, let's just look at the light. The clarity begins with, oh, this is a situation. Just literally shining light on the situation. This is a situation that some of us are in and inhabit. And it's hard. And it's not only hard that you're in it, but then the judgment that you're in it, at least for me, makes it worse that I judge that I'm like this. It's like just adding weight to the load. Because of course you're not supposed to be this way. I think that's part of the lie. I'm not supposed to be this way. It's a hard thing to hear. I shouldn't be this way. Why can't I be another way? I don't know that I shouldn't be this way. I make so many concessions for so many people to be the way they are. Who's to say this isn't my journey? To struggle with this my entire life. We wouldn't judge someone with a physical impairment. They're going to have it their whole life. And if they're missing part of a leg, they're not going to regrow the leg, at least not yet. I know this might sound like I'm like defensive against the world, but part of me is just defending myself from myself, right? They're the parts of myself that are indomitable, like they won't give up. And then they won't give up in believing in me. Then the other parts of me are like, they won't give up in attacking me. constantly have this warring faction going on. Not constantly, but in these times especially pronounced. I'm sure that's why I've always sought peace. It's because I have enough conflict inside of me. I don't need any more conflict in my life. I'm sure that's why I also get so triggered when there is conflict in my life. I'm sure there are many reasons for that. So I rearranged my altar, took some things off, and the things I took off were things that feel like they're done, like that part of my journey. It's interesting because they have to do with my mom and my kids. The reason that's interesting is because the last few weeks have been such powerful reflections for me, because I see the way that I've judged my mom, and now I'm feeling the judgment of my children. And so standing in the middle, it's like this two-sided, these double mirrors where I think I have the right to judge my mom for the way she raised me, but I don't think my children have the right to judge me for the way I raised them, because I can look up at the way I was raised and be like, yeah, but I did better than what I got. But of course, I feel very righteous in my judgment of my mom. So standing in the middle between child and parent, I feel the two halves of the righteous judgment, and also the humble ask. So the righteous judgment of the child, and the humble, there's sort of the humility of being a parent. So it's interesting to me that I didn't think about that when I remove things from my altar. I mean, I just take things off, and then I don't really know why, and then I rearrange what's left, and I don't know why. And then usually with time I start to see sort of the message, the meaning, the guidance, the direction of where I'm going next. I mean, this journey as parent and child certainly isn't over. I can tell I still have a long way to go in the forgiveness of my mom, but I can also see how so much of my blame is actually just pain. So much of my blame is actually just pain. And I'm sure so much of my children's blame and judgment is just pain. So I took that off and rearranged how some of the things sit. Just trying to find life and light, the flame in my own life, my own heart. There are some things on my altar that are always constant. Anyone that knows me knows how much I love sunflowers. Ever since I think as a teenager, it's probably when I first really realized if someone said, "What's your spirit animal?" I'd say a sunflower. I've just always been so drawn to them. They're very popular right now, which is sort of annoying, because before anyone, I mean, as far as I knew, I mean, I'm sure sunflowers obviously have been loved for a long time, but so the sunflower remains constant, and there's another stone on my altar. I think it's kyanite, but I might have the name wrong. And it has to do with your voice. And I remember getting that. Somehow it came to me almost 15 years ago, not around my divorce, maybe a little after. It's one of the first stones. And it's about finding your voice. And it's funny, that one has never gone away, and I don't know that it ever will. I think me finding my voice is a lifelong journey. Same as me making peace with being here as I am, even when I don't, when I struggle to find or see or know my place, my worth. I feel like such a tiresome burden on myself and on others. Things would be better without me. That's such a lie. Such a lie. One of the biggest lies that I would love to shine light on. It's never better without someone. I can't say if it's better for the person that chose to take their life. I don't know. That's not for me to decide, but it's never better for others, which is, I say that because there are so many times when I think if I just went away, if I was just gone, their life would be better. It would like remove the problem if I was gone. And it doesn't. It never does. But that's definitely one of the lies that I believe at times. It's one of the ones I'm trying to really see in myself to know that that is truly a lie. It's hard for me. I know you can't see well. You can see the light of the candle, but I don't know that you can see much else. I can't really. The camera's away from me pointing at the altar, so I'm not entirely sure what you can see. But the shadows, I've always loved shadows. The shadows on the walls, really beautiful. And the shadows in our lives. My house is so quiet. My life is so quiet, very simple. My daughter moved out. I guess it's been 2 days, 2 days ago. She was living here after her divorce, and she just moved to Missouri. Start a new life there. And it's been really hard. It's been really hard. I think one of the hardest things for me right now is I'm able to see myself more clearly through other people's eyes. Well, I guess I can see their judgment of me clearly. I often wonder if someone came into my life and they saw me as an amazing person, if I'd be able to see myself that way. I'm so quick to see all the flaws that other people point out in me, all their judgments of me. I think what's different more recently is that I've realized I can't change so much of it. I used to think I could. Not even that I can't change it, but I also can't hide it. One, because it's just too, like it refuses to stay hidden. It was like I was able to hide my trauma for so long. And then, the last few years, it's like, no, like it comes out. I don't like to see it. But so, people that may see, and they may be very right in seeing my trauma, my triggers, certain aspects of myself. It's so funny because it's though I could fix it. And maybe with time I can adapt some of it, but I can't even be the person they want me to be. It just, it's never worked for me. I just, I just have to be me. And sometimes something magical happens and I do change and something shifts in me and I'm able to do things I never thought I could and it's amazing. But I didn't really do it. It was like more and more I just lean into grace. It's like grace just happened. And it happened to me and just so happened to happen to me. And some change that I'd been working so hard for, or maybe I'd finally just given up on, or never even considered that it could be a possibility. It happens. And I get to experience that amazing grace. But then sometimes it doesn't happen. And I don't know why. I wish it would, and it isn't that I haven't worked just equally hard on it. It just doesn't happen. If somebody's out there and they're just like having the most amazing life right now, I hope you don't find this video. I don't really want to know what you think of it. But if there's someone out there that is awake at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. now, trying to find a little bit of lightness inside their heart and a little light to follow, or just to know you're not alone. It's so cold outside right now. It's February. It's down in the teens. The furnace just turned on. So the flame will flicker now. My heart breaks for all the people that don't have a home. My heart breaks for the people that have a home and it's not safe. That isn't home. I'm so blessed to have a home. I haven't always had a home. I'm blessed to be safe in my home. I haven't always been safe in my home. I'm sad and I'm sorry that I feel so badly about myself. I'm sad and sorry for the ways I haven't been able to show up for the people in my life that I love and care about. That's part of the frustration is I wish I were better. I wish I could do some of the things that they want of me, that I want of me. I'm sad and I'm sorry that we all can't be better with each other and to each other and with ourselves and for ourselves. I wish I was better at communicating, sitting down and saying the hard things and listening to the hard things and saying them again and listening to them again until we finally get down to the heart of the matter. Like it's not about the dishes, right? Something much deeper going on. Well, as I journey through this next round of doubting, it almost feels like less about doing anything in this space and just sort of surviving it, waiting for it to move through. As Rumi said, this being human is a guest house. Yeah, no, just one more of the guests that comes through that I don't necessarily appreciate or want to stay. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not even sure how to describe them, but they're like these little stone, these carved stone animals, little small. I think they have names, but like little figurines. My mom had like, my God, it's like, I don't know, 50 or 10, 60, literally, like, because I must have 30 up there. I bet my mom had like 60 or 70 of them, like in drawers and just everything. And when we moved her out of her house into the assisted living facility, I don't know why, but I just was like, I didn't want them, but I was so torn. Like they were just so her thing. I was like, God, I don't know what to do with these. So I ended up just like kind of throwing them in a bag. Ooh, the light went out. Hmm. Well, maybe that's enough. I turned the camera so you could see the shadows on the wind on the screen, but I don't think it's picking it up. It's pretty remarkable. I wish you could see it. I guess in this moment, I wish that whoever you are, that you were here. I could just hold your hand and you could hold my hand. Just know that this too shall pass and it will be here tomorrow for all the tomorrows that our life has. And that so many of the lies hidden inside there are truths. I think the best thing I can do for myself is just hold myself. You know, when you're on a conversation with someone late at night and it's been such a delightful conversation and you don't want to hang up, even though you're both tired. That's how I feel right now. And I'm on a late night call with someone I really care about and I've enjoyed being with. I don't want to hang up. And I don't have anything else to say. Maybe someone out there couldn't sleep and now they're asleep. That would be really sweet for me if that happened. If they fell asleep. I would like that. Maybe I'll listen to this one day and fall asleep. Be me, being with me, being with me. A reiterative presence of presence. I thought about singing a little song. And I can't think of one. So I'll just say goodnight, even though it's early morning. And that I hope you rest deep and full and whole, sound. And that you hold yourself the way I would hold you, with utmost love and deepest compassion in a universe of goodwill. All my love to you all.